Hello folks, Dave Schulke here with the Twin Home Experts. I'm here in an apartment dealing with a renter and a landlord. There's a big dispute going on with mold, the tenant's suffering from mold and symptoms, and the renter feels that it's the landlord's responsibility to remove the mold, which I agree. But what I wanted to do is take a moment and offer some insight if you're a renter dealing with a landlord and understanding what the process is in order to deal with the mold issues in your home. You know, you as a renter do have responsibility, so this, I thought, was a perfect opportunity to give you some insight. All right, so from a renter's point of view, what I'd like to offer you guys is this, is that before you go after the landlord, you have to verify a few things. And that is if there is a leak or there was a leak and it was never handled properly, then that's a good case for you of negligence. So if the landlord's coming out and not finding the leak, fixing the leak, potentially you do have mold, and that is a bad situation for you if you're living in that. So got you covered on that. But here, what I want to offer you is that we're inside of an apartment where the renter hired a third-party hygienist to come in here and take some air testing. The air test came back pretty clean except for one mold called Chaetomium, and that is a mold that typically grows from like plants or paper type products. So as you can see, folks, right behind me is a stash of just papers and bookshelves and cardboard boxes pretty much everywhere inside of this 600 square foot apartment. So what I want to do is give you some insight as to what you need to do as a renter to make sure that you're complying as well. So it's not always the landlord's responsibility. So in this particular situation, it's simply just a visual perspective as to be mindful of what your responsibility as a renter when it comes to mold. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take you to some cutaways on some things that we found in this apartment that really is the renter's responsibility. Okay, so here we are in the little office area here. As you can see, a lot of boxes and debris. But also, if you notice this personal item here, again, this dusty stuff is again breeding ground for mold. So you ought to really take that into consideration with keeping your environment clean. If you can look at the screen, the computer screen in here, again, just needs to be vacuumed and wiped down consistently. All right, folks, here's another example too. On the door here, you can see the amount of dust that's collecting in here. And if you come over here to this area, you can see again the amount of dust on this bookshelf here that obviously hasn't been cleaned in a long time. And then you mix that with paper products and molds like for paper. Chaetomium is a big one. All right, another example is on top of this bookcase here. You can see if I just wipe my hand here, how much dust accumulates. And again, this is a perfect breeding ground for different types of species of mold. Aspergillus penicillium is one. So again, if you want good indoor air quality, especially as a renter, this does need to be addressed. All right, folks, so as you can see, there's just a lack of constant cleaning, a lack of just not being mindful of the type of organic material like paper and stuff. You can't just have that stored. It's going to build up dust, and mold is going to grow on those areas there. So the only way to keep the indoor air clean is really put your stuff in plastic boxes if you can, not just stacking up boxes, because mold's not going to grow on plastic materials. The other thing is too, if you're really concerned about your environment inside and you have really no place to store stuff, then you might want to consider getting a HEPA-vac as well as a mold cleaning product to keep your stuff mold free, such as your bathroom walls if you're not getting enough ventilation. That type of stuff will really do a lot for your indoor air quality and won't get you sick. So anyhow, I just wanted to shed that insight for you guys as a renter to make sure that before you go after the landlord, make sure that your stuff is taken care of. Hopefully this helped give you a little bit of insight on how to deal with the renter and landlord situation. Hopefully this helped. If so, give us thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe.